So my name is Aklola, as I said. Whenever you come, just feel free to introduce yourself. It will be a nice time. It will be nice, to get to know you people one by one after the other, and get to know you more. All right. So, African Naturalistas is the leading hair care brand in Nigeria. If we say so ourselves, we have a hair clinic. We have an arm that manufactures hair products. We have a part that specifies or designs specialized hair care regimen for ladies, and we have a hair blog. We exist in order to serve your hair needs. We exist to help you achieve your goal of healthy hair naturally. So for everybody that we help to have a good, that we can help, that we can serve better, we are always happy. We are always glad when we help any, even if it's one more lady, to have a great hair, to have good hair. So it's like salvation. Even if we cannot help 1 million women at a time, for every woman we help through any of our 4 services, we're always happy that we have gotten something done. I'm trying to let this thing show so that you can admire my nice blouse. I dressed up for you people. Okay, so today that's our vision, to always help you women have healthy hair. Whether your hair is natural, whether your hair is relaxed, our vision is to help you have healthy hair. So I just went natural for months and my hair has been really dry. Help me, please. Okay, so this is not just any Q&A. Today we are talking about androgenic alopecia. Androgenic alopecia, why you are going bald. So it will be nice, even though you have so many questions, if they are not related to androgenic alopecia, just send a DM, we'll answer you. Do you understand? But today we'll be covering androgenic alopecia. It's always nice to stay focused on the topic of discussion so that we don't get scattered and we don't get to answer so many questions that are not related to the hair. So if you have any question that is not related to the hair, to the topic that we have for today, please send a DM. But it's really important that you listen to what we have today, because the solution to your hair problems might just be mentioned in today's session. All right, so straight to the point, why you're going bald. Today I'm going to be talking about androgenic alopecia. The reason why I'm talking about androgenic alopecia today is because last month, we talked about traction alopecia, and one of the comments, a lady specifically asked for that we talk about androgenic alopecia. A lady specifically, she said she wants us to talk about androgenic alopecia, balding, and all this. So I promise, even though we already had another topic slated for the month of November, I tweaked it around and said, you know what, we are going to be talking about androgenic alopecia this month, just to be able to satisfy the particular woman. All right, so androgenic alopecia is the scientific word for balding. So somebody's going bald, a man or a woman, you're just going bald, not just losing hair, you're actually balding. Not traction alopecia where you did something to your hair and your hair is breaking, your hairline is receding, or no, not that kind of. This one, like balding. And if you are not sure whether you are balding, by the time we explain the signs, you will know whether you're balding. So if you are confused, okay, is my hair leaving my head because of something I did, or I'm actually balding, just stay tuned. You will find out what exactly androgenic alopecia is. So this will help you know whether to worry yourself, whether to run from pillar to post, or whether to just give yourself peace of mind and know that there's really nothing you can do about this situation. Okay, so some women are genetically predisposed to androgenic alopecia. So androgenic alopecia is the gradual thinning of hair on the crown of the head, and it eventually leads to total hair loss in the crown region. Androgenic alopecia is the gradual thinning of hair in the crown that eventually leads to total hair loss in the crown region. So androgenic alopecia is not traction alopecia that comes from the temples, which is what we treated last month. Neither is it occipital alopecia that affects babies, that comes in the occipital region, which we treated 2 months ago, but it's the gradual thinning of hair in the crown region. So it starts from hair. For both men and women, it starts from hair, even though for men it goes here and it happens here, but it's the gradual thinning of hair from the crown, and it eventually leads to a total hair loss in the crown. That's what androgenic alopecia is. And some women and men are genetically predisposed to androgenic alopecia. Some people, it's a genetic predisposition. So it is nothing that you did to your hair. This one is not caused by your tight hairstyles. It's not caused by your braids, by your wigs, by your weaves, by your relaxers. It's caused by a genetic predisposition in your lineage, in your genetic makeup. That's what causes people to have androgenic alopecia. And it is caused by androgens, hence the word androgenic. Androgens are particular genes that we all have, but some people have more than the other. If you want to, I don't want to go too scientific on you guys, so I don't want to start going into, androgens and all those things. But if you want to read more about androgens, you can always, check on Google and read about androgens. But androgens are what cause androgenic alopecia. And androgens are male genes that are found in both men and women. So they are male genes found in both men and women, and we are all, because we all have androgens, we are all predisposed to androgenic alopecia. But not everyone gets androgenic alopecia due to the varying expressions of these genes in our system. Everybody has different level of androgens, and they express themselves in mild form, normal form, and extreme forms in different people. So the very expressions of these androgens in our system is what causes some women to have androgenic alopecia and some women to not even have it at all. And it is called androgenic alopecia because research has gone far and wide over the years, over hundreds of years, to be able to pin down the cause of this alopecia to androgens. They've been able to pin it down, and so many researchers have gone on, and I'm going to give you one very interesting one, just one very interesting one. So we all know that testosterone is the predominant male hormone, even though we all have testosterone, but it's predominant in the men. That's what leads to the growth of beards, to the chest hair, to thick hair in men, and more growth rates. The thick hair on their legs and all those things is the testosterone hormone. And that testosterone, even though it's in women, is more pronounced in men because it's the male hormone. And these androgens, I said they are male genes. Androgens is commonly found in testosterone. So they have found out that this testosterone begins to develop in men begins to be pronounced in men, after puberty. So they have found out that when a man is castrated, or when a boy child is castrated before puberty, the androgens don't form, and because the androgens don't form, they never get androgenic alopecia. So they have been able to drill it down to androgens. So when a man is castrated before puberty, or when a boy is castrated before puberty, he never ever gets androgenic alopecia. And the most interesting thing, when they manually inject this eunuchs are the guys that are the people that have been castrated. When they manually inject this eunuch with testosterone, is already genetically predisposed to androgenic alopecia, it goes bald. So they have been able to eliminate androgen and reintroduce androgen, and they have found out that male pattern baldness and female pattern baldness is actually caused by androgens, hence the word androgenic alopecia. Such an interesting research, right? Such an interesting research. If you missed what I just said, you might want to go to the replay after this live session is over, and get that research. So all genetically predisposed men, this is another interesting thing, all genetically predisposed men will develop androgenic alopecia because they have sufficient circulating testosterone to stimulate the hair follicles. All genetically predisposed men will develop androgenic alopecia because they have sufficiently circulating testosterone to stimulate the hair follicles. But as for women, only premenopausal women with a strong predisposition we have androgenic alopecia. Let me take that again. For men, every man that is genetically predisposed to androgenic alopecia will eventually go bald. All of them, 100% of them. But for women, it's not the case. It's only the ones with a strong predisposition that will go bald before menopause. Only the ones with strong predisposition that will go bald. So I guess that is good news. If not, everybody would have been going bald. So signs of androgenic alopecia. Signs of androgenic alopecia. The front hair usually always remains. This is where you people want to pay attention. You're not sure whether your case is androgenic alopecia, which is not your fault, or is traction alopecia, which is your fault. Here are the signs. Your front hair will always be there, but your middle hair will not be there. The balding goes like this, and I'm talking to the women now only. The balding goes in this pattern like this, but all your front hair will still be full. Your back hair will still be full, but your middle hair in this way will start going bald. Then your hair follicles will not be scarred, meaning your hair follicles will still be there. They will probably be producing hair, but they'll be very tiny hair. Then your scalp texture will be normal. It won't be like leathery scalp texture. Yeah, I think I talked about CCCA. I can't remember if we have treated we haven't treated cicatricial central centrifugal alopecia. But in this case, your hair texture, your scalp texture will feel normal. It will be normal. It will not be leathery. It will feel like all the other areas of your scalp. Then you need to look for a widening path in the hair, which as I've already talked about. You never completely lose all your hair. I've already talked about that. You need to examine for the miniaturization of your hair follicles, meaning the hair is still there but is very thin, and final confirmation will be confirmed by a scalp biopsy. Or you can always come to the hair clinic, see a trichologist to get a final confirmation. And unlike scarring alopecia, your hair follicles do not actually reduce. Your hair follicles do not close up for androgenic alopecia. The hair follicles are still there, they are still active, but the kind of hair it's producing is so tiny, it's been miniaturized that it's actually negligible. So now this is another interesting fact. The response of hair to the androgens are site specific. I will quickly tell you guys about two kinds of hair that we can find all over our body, so you realize how this hair is responding to the hair. So we have vellus hair and we have terminal hair. Vellus hair are actually thin hair. The thin hair is called vellus hair, and they can be found on the hair on your hands, those thin hair on your hand, maybe your the one on your cheeks, on your forehead, on your beards, you know, all this tiny hair here, this hair here, all this tiny hair, those are called vellus hair. And maybe the front of your hair a bit, these are called vellus hair. But stronger hair, the thicker ones, the ones in the pubic region, the head, or some part of the head, some parts of your legs, those thick hair, they are called terminal hair. So vellus is spelled VELLUS, terminal is spelled TERMINAL, just normal terminal. So what androgens do is that the vellus hair on your beards, on your chest, in your pubic area, your pubic region, it begins to turn it to terminal hair. So it begins to turn the thin hair to thick hair. So when you see a woman that has thick beards, where she's supposed to have vellus hair, all this tiny hair, you know, we all have hair, but you now see a woman that has thick beards, thick mustache. Even some women, they have thick mustache, thick hair on their chest, very thick hair. You find out that their androgens are very strong. All those women, they have so thick hair. You're like, why is this woman so hairy? We call them hairy women. That's androgens at work. Then you find that when it now comes to the terminal hair, the hair on the edge, the area the hair is supposed to be thick, the androgens now begins to turn into vellus hair. It now makes their hair thin. So it does the reverse. Where the hair is supposed to be thin and tiny, the androgens turn it to be very thick, and where the hair is supposed to be thick, the androgens turn it to be very tiny and very thin, and as the onset of baldness. So that's what androgens do. They are very site specific. But on the beards, the hair, they turn it to thick, and on the hair, they start becoming thin. Please, if you have any questions, be asking. We're already like 30 minutes into this webinar. Ask the questions so that I can take your questions at the end of the IG live. I keep calling it webinar because I'm used to webinar. So that's another interesting fact about what androgens do to the hair. So for females, to get a perfect diagnosis, you will need a scalp biopsy. Although for males rarely need a biopsy, because by the time you just see it here, you know, you see the hair receding inside, you see this one going, you can already determine this guy is a man, is going bald. But for females, to get like 100% perfect diagnosis, you will need a scalp biopsy, because you need to eliminate telogen effluvium. I've talked about telogen effluvium in the past also. Telogen effluvium is when so many hair all over your hair, they get into the telogen phase and your hair falls off at once, and it's caused by stress, it's caused by medication, caused by, you know, chemotherapy, caused by hormones, caused by childbirth. There are so many things that causes telogen effluvium in women. So for us to eliminate telogen effluvium and say, you know what, this is androgenic alopecia, not telogen effluvium, you will need to take a scalp biopsy. But after a while, if after 2 years, 3 years, this thing hasn't regularized, you can always know that this one is androgenic alopecia. So that's how to diagnose for androgenic alopecia. So for the treatment, to be honest, there's this interesting saying that goes, anybody that finds the cure for baldness is going to be the richest person in the world. And that's true, because there has been no definite cure for baldness. There has been no definite cure for baldness. Please, you need to start asking your questions, because after the treatment, we'll be taking the Q&A. There has been no definite cause for baldness. Definite cure for baldness, but there are ways to slow it down. There are ways to actually arrest it and stop it, but not cure it. Because remember that the cause for this androgenic alopecia is actually the androgens. So for you to say you want to cure it, that means you are saying that you want to get rid of the androgens, or you want to reduce the amount of androgens in those people to stop the androgens from working. Do you understand? So in fact, they found a way to suppress androgens in some men in times past. so that they will not have androgenic alopecia. But they found out that those men were now beginning to look like women. They were now, maybe they were developing small breasts and small hips. So that's not really a way to cure androgenic alopecia in men. All right, so there, as I said, there's no definite way to cure androgenic alopecia, to cure balding, for people just joining us. But there are two active ingredients that have been approved worldwide to stop this thing in its tracks. They are called Minoxidil and Finasteride. So Minoxidil and Finasteride are the only two approved active ingredients that are used to stop androgenic alopecia, also known as balding. Minoxidil is actually a non-prescription drug available over the counter. So if you have seen a can of something called Rogaine in the US or Regain in the UK, it's actually the same product. It's called Rogaine in the US or Regain in the UK. There's Rogaine for men and Rogaine for women, because the men's own is actually stronger than the women's own. So it's like a foamy, it's like will I say aerosol, but it's like a mousse. Yeah, it's a mousse in a spray can. You press it, you rub it all over your hair, day in, day out, like twice a day, and you find out that maybe like a month or 2 months later, the baldness is closing back. But the thing about minoxidil, or any product that has minoxidil, is that once you stop using these products, your hair begin to go bald again. So you are actually, if you start, you are actually going to be dependent on it for life. That's the sad truth. If you start using the product that has minoxidil, for you to use it, you are going to be dependent on it for life. And it actually causes your hair to be dry, and it causes your hair to, your scalp to be flaky. But really, if you want to say, you know what, I'm so ashamed of my hair, I don't want to be bald, or I don't want to carry my hair bald everywhere, then you have to use a product that has minoxidil in it. And there's the 2% concentration and the 5% concentration. We used to have it at African Naturalistas Hair Clinic, but for now we have run out of it until I can get out of the country again and bring it in, because it's not manufactured in Nigeria. So if you're dealing with that, any product that has minoxidil as an active ingredient, you can use it as a woman. Then finasteride is actually for men only, and that one is actually like an oral medication. It's a drug that you take, you swallow, and you use for to stop balding. And but the side effect of finasteride is that it causes men to have low libido. It causes them to have low libido. So it's and it causes weight gain. It causes weight gain in men and low libido. But it's for men only. In fact, a woman must not go near the tablet, and especially pregnant women must not even touch the tablet, because it can cause them to have miscarriage. That's how strong finasteride is. Now, another thing you can do is you can use hair dyes. For people that maybe you have short hair and you're balding, you can just spray your hair dye to give you an illusion of hair. So there are hair dyes. There are hair dyes that are designed to look like hair. So you can get those ones and spray them all over to get you an illusion of hair. But the best thing, if you really want to do this, is just to use something that has minoxidil, even though they are very expensive products, but that's what to use. So we have run 30 minutes of this. I am going to be taking questions now. I'm going to be taking questions. If you have questions, let me know. If you have questions, let me know. We have already gone through the causes of balding. We have gone through the signs. We have gone through the treatments. So Pamela Young Morakiyo says, can't balding be gradually rectified with the LD? No, if it's balding, there are other forms of hair loss that can be rectified with a good diet. there are other forms of hair loss. But if it's balding, if it's androgenic alopecia has nothing to do with diet. It has nothing to do with diet. Other forms of hair loss, like traction alopecia, diffuse hair loss, telogen effluvium, so many kinds of hair loss. Most of the hair loss can be rectified with diet, but not androgenic alopecia, because it is caused by the androgens in your body. Good evening, my edges are really bad. I bought the edge cream. Please, what else can I use? So if you bought the edge restoring cream, you have the WhatsApp number. Let's just chat on WhatsApp. I'm going to respond to you personally. So don't worry about that. But just make sure, of course, if it's your edges, then it's not androgenic alopecia. If it's your edges, then it's, because androgenic alopecia does not affect the edges for women. All right. Any other question? If you have any other question, let me know. So just one good news. The good news is that if it's androgenic alopecia, it's not your fault. It's nothing you have done wrong. It's not because you aborted the child when you were 5 years old, or you drank camel's milk when you were 17 years old. It's not because you slept with your husband. It's not because you took your hair and pulled it out of your head. Androgenic alopecia is balding, and it is not caused by anything you did. It is not caused by anything you did. So do not run from pillar to post. Do not let anybody steal your money. Do not let anybody lie to you. Do not let anybody tell you to go and put onion juice on your head. Do not let anybody tell you to go and, there are so many things that we see out there, so many things we hear out there. Don't let anybody tell you that androgenic alopecia, balding, is caused by androgens, and there is nothing you can do about it but to, you do have a stopgap approach with the minoxidil. You get, if it's not minoxidil, it won't work. But you need to be sure that it's androgenic alopecia, because there are other forms of alopecia that can be corrected. There are other forms of alopecia. To get a diagnosis, you can come to our hair clinic. If you are not in Lagos, you can see any other trichologist wherever you are to get a diagnosis. Alrighty, so it's like we have come to the end of today's IG live. I'll be seeing you. Oh, we are not going to be meeting in December. Because I just want to take a break. It's going to be Christmas period, so everybody's going to be on the festive season. I mean, by this time next month, nobody will even be at home. Everybody will just be jumping from pillar to post. So we are going to be seeing in January. We have beautiful plans for you people. You guys, you will not even you'll be shocked at what hits you. We have beautiful plans. See you in 2020. Bye. I'm feeling my hair. My hair was brought to you by All Naturals. All Naturals did this. Yes, shout out to All Naturals for my beautiful locks. I've not locked it since last month, but after the Beauty West Africa event, I'm going to go and lock it. How many guys are coming for Beauty West Africa? If you're in Lagos, you must come for Beauty West Africa. It is happening at Landmark Event Center from December 20 to December 22nd. Come and meet me. I'll talk to you about your hair loss. I will tell you whether it's androgenic alopecia, whether you're going bald, or whether it's traction alopecia. Come to African Naturalistas, and there are going to be so many beauty vendors there, but African Naturalistas is going to be the best of them all. See you on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at Landmark Event Center. See you at the next IG live in January 2020. Bye. My hair, All Naturals.